Hey, what's up? Moonrunner83 here. So I'm going to do a couple more of these videos from time to time that have a little bit better production quality and just talk about some of the stuff that I see, you know, on the internet, talk about music, talk about the project itself. So here we go. The first one is, this is a little bit of a rant today, and I even made some notes that I'm probably going to go through. I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible, but I'm seeing this like weird proliferation of artists who don't have a large following or who do have a large following on other social media platforms, but when they go to Reels or TikTok, it seems like they've all been reading the same, you know, kind of like boomer music blog. And I know that it's so difficult for artists to get through the static and be discovered and find their people and find their fans. But I want to kind of explain why I think that, you know, this really kind of bizarre tactic that I'm seeing online is a little bit strange, right? So what I'm talking about is like those posts where, you know, you look at an artist's profile and every single post is like, you know, point of view, you've just found a brand new band that still has time to answer every comment or hang out with you after the show, or point of view, you know, the algorithm loves you because you just discovered a band, you know, that was raised on, you know, band A and band X. If you like us, give us a subscribe and follow. I've even seen ones where they start to kind of like attack their audience saying, you know, the algorithm loves you because you found a band. We're never going to get famous, but you know, you're special because you found us, or the algorithm loves you, or for some reason, you know, there's a small collective club. Now, it kind of at first blush, you're like, you know, kind of an interesting strategy, but it doesn't really seem like these guys are doing anything else. And what I'm seeing is this is actually like, I've seen dozens of musicians and they're all doing the same thing. And even the wordings of these posts are really similar. Now, the issues with a lot of this stuff is this is like the ghost of this like viral strategy. And I did a little bit of digging online. This is like some big thing on like, you know, blogs for, you know, TikTok for musicians who don't know how to, you know, make videos and stuff, right? So what's happening here is basically there's got to be some sort of a resource that's basically telling people that this is a great idea. And this isn't like, you know, some original thing or some, you know, band's original idea. It's basically a pre-packaged paint by numbers, you know, tip for how to produce content. And what's so problematic is that, you know, they're putting out videos every single day, right? It's kind of like a low effort attempt to kind of like check all the authenticity boxes that make people really like musicians, right? So the big hook, like, you know, this, you know, you just found this musician. It's basically to try to kind of like manufacture this feeling of discovery, right? It's trying to flatter the viewer and make them feel like they're, you know, like an early adopter or whatever, right? Who just stumbled upon this hidden gem. And one of the big problems is, you know, the point of view trend. It kind of like, you know, gives people the impression that, you know, it creates this like fake sense of personal connection, right? And the problem, as I've seen, is when everybody's a hidden gem, there's actually no hidden gems. You know what I mean? So like, not everybody can be a band that's just about to break, and you're just lucky because you caught them early, right? And then, you know, there's like this niche, right, where they try to identify and attach themselves to like other projects, right? And be like, you know, if you like band X, you're really gonna love us, and you know, the algorithm has clearly just connected us because we're special, right? So this is like what they call the artist DNA shortcut. And what that really means is it's kind of like the fastest way to try to tell a new listener, you know, like if you like this and this, you'll like us. And it's like a marketing tactic. And again, this is something I see in like music blogs and stuff, but it's a marketing tactic to quickly try to find the target audience. But here's the problem, is like, it's super lazy. So it's telling instead of showing. And then that only works if the music that you hear in the video immediately backs up the claim that they're like this band. And unfortunately, in a lot of these things, that's just not what I'm seeing. You know, they're like, we're like band A and band B. And then you go through their feed and they don't actually sound anything like those bands, right? So it's kind of a problematic. And then of course they've got like what I call the authenticity bait. And this is the, you know, supposed to seal the deal, right? And this is a band that still replies to every comment, or will have time to hang out with you after the show, or you found us just before we've broken and have become famous, right? And it's a widely preached engagement trick, again, prevalent on these like music blogs. And what I find so weird is, why do people kind of like why do musicians fall for this and be like, oh, that's really sweet, man? I mean, I'm a musician, but even people that aren't musicians, they can kind of smell the inauthenticity when they see your entire profile spamming the same thing over and over. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to slam musicians for trying to stand out of the static, right? I mean, you got to do everything you can, but like people really want authenticity, you know what I mean? And even just like a video, shot on a cell phone that really kind of like gets to the core and the soul of the musician, that's way better than, reading these music blogs, trying to find out, what works or what might have worked for one person. And then everyone just kind of piles on to these trends, right? And I see it in other trends as well. And perhaps we'll talk about that in maybe like another video. But the biggest problem is like marketing blogs and gurus are like constantly telling musicians that to engage with every comment, to build community, and to signal to the algorithm that this post is positive. So they're like begging you to engage with it and everything else. Here's the problem though, is like this is a hollow promise, right? And it frames the engagement as like a feature of the music, right? And you get that feature because you're a little bit early, right? So it's not a genuine interaction. It's like the artist equivalent of like a product saying, like act fast, like limited supplies available, or like limited time only, or something like that, right? It feels needy. It feels like you're begging, and it really doesn't feel authentic, right? And why it's not working, and this is really important, is because it's transparently inauthentic, especially if it's not just one post or two posts, just a whole bunch of posts, right? When you're doing it every day, it doesn't look authentic. So my advice to other musicians is, stop reading these music blogs and having people tell you, what works for your fans and what doesn't. People like to connect with real artists that they appreciate and engage authentically with that person or with those people, right? And even something like a minute-long video showing you playing an instrument, or actually showing people your music rather than telling people about your music. That's absolutely critical, and that's a great way to build a fan base, even a small one. Anyway, short video, kind of cool, a little bit of a rant, and sorry about that, but this is kind of the way it goes. I'm seeing so many of these things, and as I scroll through feeds and stuff, I'm going, man, is there like some guru out there who's making money selling this to people as like the like the ultimate secret on how to be successful is to make these like these bizarre videos kind of begging people to engage with you, and trying to tell people that they're just special because they found their favorite artist, and the algorithm has just selected you as one of the first listeners. It just feels inauthentic, and again, I don't mean to offend any musician that's kind of tried out this stuff, because obviously we've got to do what we can do to try to come through the static. But at the end of the day, I still don't think it's a great idea. So anyway, have a great one, and I'll see you soon.